1 minute. Well, no, we ain't off, you know what I'm saying? Now it's a vibrate, y'all know what it is. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past. Gonna give a little second for everybody to come in the chat. Let me know how the audio is. Let me know how the visuals is. It's been a while. It's been a little minute. You know what's been coming up strongly in connection with this video is just the connection of, Titans. For one, as above, so below, as within, so without, understanding how astrology and the constellations, or astronomy and astrology along with the constellations, and how, again, it's different movements causing different things to happen. And then also the connection with mythology, all these stories of how Kronos, tried to, eat or kill his own children and stuff like that, and how the constellations are literally kind of lined up with these mythological stories. Orion, the story of Orion is connected to the story of Osiris. And the story of Orion, one of the mythologies of Orion is getting stung by the scorpion, because whenever Scorpio is coming over the horizon around a certain time of the year, that's when Orion is seen less. You know what I'm saying? It's not seen as much when Scorpio is coming over the horizon at a certain moment. Loosely referencing the mythology. Y'all could check out the Ophiuchus and Orion mythology video I did a while back. Or Ophiuchus. Yeah, Ophiuchus and Orion mythology. But y'all let me know how the audio and visual is. But recently, I came across this movie, I Killed Giants. And in connection also with Godzilla, I Killed Giants, Godzilla, just a reference to, movies where, I'm all in the trees, hold on. The trees, like, hold on, speaking of the weather in Titans. Hold on, give it a second, I'm gonna get a better visual. Is the chat or the audio working? Is the chat room and the audio? I don't see anybody in the chat. Just let me know. Matter of fact, maybe it's not meant for me to start speaking up until everybody show up in the chat. Goddess Isis, what's up, peace. Appreciate your response. So yeah, speaking of, all right, Miss Dendrina, peace, sis. I trust I said that right. Connection with the Titans, for one, that's all speaking to the energy of balancing ourselves out, balancing our energy field. A lot, I'm pretty sure, has been coming up for you dealing with, maintaining a healthy nervous system, in essence, making sure that your nervous system is not all discombobulated all the time. But at the same time, understanding that your nervous system is, you know, feeling disruptive for a reason as well, and knowing what it's trying to tell you. We also have the energy of having to make sure that we are grounded in our bodies. We're not like all in the crown chakra, all on that vibe of like, man, I hate Earth and I want to leave my body, because in some cases, not all, but in some cases that's almost like a suicidal energy, you know what I'm saying, in the sense of, wanting to leave your body to that extent, like where it's just constantly like, I just wish I was outside my body, I just wish I was out, you know what I'm saying? So you have to be aware, or like some may say, be careful what you wish for. And again, our actions speak louder than words. So we want to show, appreciation for our bodysuits, appreciation for our vehicle, and be present in our vehicle, you know what I'm saying? And that goes into, the stretching, being grounded, exercising, but doing things to kind of ground ourselves into our body. For some of us, it's the energy of, remembering so strongly of being, of being a being that's not used to always being in a bodysuit or on a human experience like that. And then there's also different little subtleties, like I think of, being born without going through the birth canal, aka, you know what I'm saying, being born through a C-section, and how that kind of takes away the grounding energy, that comes with this experience, that comes with your bodysuit. You wasn't actually squeezed through the portal process, naturally, you know what I'm saying? And so it kind of has an effect on how you feel grounded inside your bodysuit as well, you know what I'm saying? What's up, Piccolo, son? Right. And as you come in, I always remember, like, I'm pretty certain it's you that always bring up running barefoot. It's like, man, running outside barefoot, you know what I'm saying? But, literally, again, like drawing that strong connection. What's up, Mockingbird? Drawing that strong connection, to the body, and being present in our body. It's this sis I came across. Gotta give a shout out, love to what she's expressing. Because I never heard anyone really express it like that, but in the sense of like doing integration work and shadow work, and basically retrieving the fragmented aspects of our soul, of our being, and like the reason why we're having to ground ourselves so much is because the fact that the fragmented part of us, or that dimension that fragmented from us, fragmented because we kind of left it behind, aka we probably wasn't strongly grounded and disassociated, and kind of just left that energy behind, compared to like going back to retrieve that aspect of ourselves and being fully grounded in our bodysuit and being there with that aspect to really integrate it and pull it from that fragmented state of being, so that's very interesting. But again, dealing with the balance of our own physical matrix, our bodysuit, and that aligns us with the balance of the physical matrix bodysuit that's outside of us. And with most of the stories of Titans, I realized the Titan energy also is like more so sentience, or just one aspect of, the Titan is the sentient conscious being that moves through, certain large was the proper name for it, but you know, with certain weather like hurricanes, storms, earthquakes, you know, and again, this was personified in the movie Godzilla. You know, you had a bird come out of a volcano. You had certain uh, titans that was actually mountains coming out of the mountains causing earthquakes. You know, you got Godzilla, you know what I'm saying, coming out of the water causing little whirlpools. And that was also on the movie I Kill Giants, where every time she would look at the water, whenever she felt like her little tingly senses, you know, telling her something, she'll look out into the water and see like almost like a whirlpool happening. And also she'll see like a crowd of blackbirds kind of hovering over, you know. Now again, with the movies, you know, it's a balanced situation. You know, the titans are not necessarily anything quote unquote bad. It's usually just comes off as something bad or harmful to someone who isn't in alignment, you know what I'm saying, with, you know, the balance. And you could say like basically almost like the shamanic resonance, you know what I'm saying, or the vibration of this earth plane, you know. And if you're off balance with the shamanic resonance or, you know, the energy of this earth plane, the vibration of this earth plane, then, you know, that weather condition, you know, in essence, you know, would single you out. You know, I think of Dan Winters, you know, clowning about how the reason why tornadoes would hit trailer homes, you know what I'm saying? And because of the aluminum and how aluminum is not the best metal, and we're going to get into speaking about metals as well, but how aluminum is not the best metal in essence for producing or promoting constructive wave interference in our auric field, you know. But again, you know, the titans and the giants connected with the different types of, you know, again, weather conditions like hurricanes, storms, earthquakes, and nature restoring balance, you know what I'm saying, through these certain aspects. And Godzilla, you know, the lady who was like, hey, you know, these animals or these beings, these creatures are here to restore balance, you know what I'm saying? And in so many words, you know, with a little darkness to it, you know, it was like, it's meant to, you know, wipe out certain areas, you know, in essence, just to say it lightly, you know what I'm saying, in order to restore balance. And this is also connected to Thanos, you know what I'm saying, the Infinity Wars, you know what I'm saying. He was from the planet Titan, considered a Titan, you know, and with the snap of his finger, taking out, you know, the whole population to restore balance to the planet. And again, with most of the movies and stuff like this, these perspectives are presented, you know, in a manner to kind of confuse things. In some cases you might find some movies and things of this nature that are expressed it in a manner where it's like more straightforward, and then some is kind of like where they blend, you know, the different characteristics of both sides, so it's kind of hard for you to tell, you know, what's going on in essence. But again, you just kind of, you could feel what resonate and feel what don't, you know what I'm saying. But also what came to mind, and this kind of gonna all connect, you know, I thought of the Mandalorian, the Star Wars show, the Mandalorian, and how basically their armor that they wore, was made out of melted precious metal, you know, but basically like a certain metal that was considered like a currency, you know what I'm saying. They would take that, and that was like their armor, and that was like a personification as well, you know what I'm saying, like that metal, in essence, that precious metal being like their armor or protecting them. And in so many words, like protecting you spiritually as well, you know what I'm saying. Now, that doesn't mean that you have to have, again, literal metal plated armor for spiritual protection, but it does speak to the value of, you know, certain precious metals, and why metals have been like more so the predominant form of currency until things try to change it to the paper. And again, though, paper could be burnt, paper could, get all soggy by the water, you know what I'm saying, while metals kind of last through a lot of different types of conditions, unconditional love is almost like an unconditional currency, And also with certain metals, you could channel certain spirits, and you could also deflect certain spirits by, using certain metals, you know what I'm saying? And that goes to, shungite, protecting you from the harmful spirits or entities or, vibrations that come from, Wi-Fi and electronics, things of this nature. This also kind of ties into again, the energy, like in storylines, they talk about like the elves, and elves don't like iron, and how iron in essence could protect you from that mischievous, the mischievous trickster energy, like the trickster energy that could have you like unfocused, because a part of also, being grounded, being balanced is having a certain level of focus. And focus is not necessarily like that overly controlling energy, but, it allows for you to have a certain level of focus. So, the metals as currency, and even seeing, right now, like that would be a very valuable thing, is, being tapped in with the certain metals, you know what I'm saying, or crystals in essence. But the metals have a certain level of, importance and value on that level. Now, this also brought me partially going into this post that I posted a while back about mirrors and mirror on the wall, and the story of Eris, Eris, not Aries, but Eris, Eris. And again, with all of this mythology, it's also in the stars, are in the constellations. And again, these constellations, these stars, kind of like weather as well, an astrological forecast, where the moon at, where the sun at, where Jupiter at. Because again, these was also stories as well, Mercury, the psychopump, for lack of a better word, like the guide in between different worlds, and more so a guide going into the underworld as well, you know what I'm saying, and hence the connection also in voodoo or Santeria with, the Legba energy, and also the connection with, when we talk about the volcano energy, connects to Vulcan, connects to Hephaestus, or I don't know how to pronounce this, but Vulcan in Roman and in Greek is Hephaestus, but the god of the forge, and basically how obsidian, black obsidian comes from the volcano, and it served as a mirror, you know what I'm saying, or like a scrying mirror is one of the best scrying mirrors, or one of the best scrying tools to connect with, certain spiritual aspects. No coincidence that the magma or lava that, well, first is magma beneath the ground, and in connection with how crystals are made, in the video, that 2-hour video I did about all the different aspects of how crystals work. It speaks to how, again, the no thing, the primordial no thing, which is no things and potentially all things. That's just how magma is. That's like the earth version of, matter of fact, and you could say earth and fire, you know what I'm saying, earth and fire together, not necessarily water, but it is a liquid, in the sense of how it moves, but how the magma is kind of like the no thing that has the potential to be in every crystal. Every crystal that you ever work with, every metal you ever work with, it all started off as magma, literally coming from that same quote unquote source, so no coincidence though that, again, the crystal that's used as a mirror or a scrying mirror to, connect with these different aspects of our subconscious. And again, literally the underworld is the deepest aspects of our subconscious, you know. And although it's neither good nor bad, it is a space where, you know, it's not meant, with everything it's a balance, and, you know, we're not meant to stay in the underworld, you know what I'm saying, unless that's a part of, you know, some type of cause and effect, aka karmic situation we have going on. But again, we're not sitting here, we being truthful and real about things. Like, the real understanding is that, yes, sometimes you have to, you know, go through that underworld, and again, back to, you know, the connection with astrology and how certain constellations, you know, are above the horizon, and then there's a certain time where they're under the horizon or passing through the quote unquote underworld. You could say almost like how the sky has a conscious mind and a subconscious mind. Like right now, what you seeing, or lack thereof, of course, you're not really seeing all the stars in the sky in the daylight, but that's representative of, like, you know, the conscious mind. And whatever is under the horizon, or whatever we are not seeing at the moment, is passing through the underworld, you know what I'm saying? So if Gemini, the sun is in Gemini right now, you know, AKA, you know, the conscious mind awareness of the constellations from our perspective on Earth, you know what I'm saying? Again, from the perspective of where we at, you know what I'm saying? Because if you're standing somewhere else, it would be a different perspective, you know. But is Gemini in the conscious mind being seen, and what's right across from Gemini is Sagittarius. So the Sagittarius energy, you know, is passing through the quote unquote underworld, you know, in that moment. So you see how all of this, you know, connect all these stories, you know, literally kind of talking about the same thing. And again, we have a constellation within our body, you know what I'm saying? Aries, the head; Taurus, kind of like the neck and shoulders area. You know, Gemini is like the, you know, the two arms, the twins, you know what I'm saying? Thunder and lightning. It's a karate joke, but anyway, you know, again, you see how the correlation. So literally, you seeing like, all right, you know, this is why this crystal work with the subconscious mind so much, you know, and why I always be like black obsidian, black obsidian, black obsidian, because, you know, the true magic in that sense is, again, like understanding your subconscious mind. You know, that's why most crystals like labradorite, you know, magical, causes synchronicities, you know, because it's dealing with your subconscious mind, understanding your subconscious mind. And again, even though nobody talks about this, you know what I'm saying, it'll have its due date, because again, the truth shall, you know, shine. But like how I bring up how, you know, the certain meteorites may be more so volcanic stones more than it is some meteorite. That's not to say meteorites don't exist, but then again, you know, it's like, here it is what most people speak on, how like, oh, it ain't the, you know, the planetary orbs are more like orbs, and, you know, all that stuff that NASA talk about ain't necessarily like, you know, like real planets, you know, they seeing or going to, you know, in that case. But then at the same time believe in, you know, the meteorites. And I'm, you know, I'm not here to say yay or nay or like who's right, who's wrong, as much as I'm like presenting the facts of the situation and looking at how it feels when I work with the crystals. And again, on that video I did do about how the meteorites are most likely like just different forms of obsidian. You know, when you look at where Libyan desert glass is quote unquote mined from, they got dormant volcanoes in the area. When you look at where Moldavite comes from, they have dormant volcanoes in the area. When you look at where was the one, the agnemanitite, But the meteorite from like the Indonesia area is not too far from volcanoes, and it's like that's not no coincidence, you know, because here it is, they got other crystals that's not near. Like there's not a dormant volcano necessarily everywhere in the world, you know what I'm saying? So there are places where crystals are mined where they don't have dormant volcanoes. So why is most of the meteorites coming from places where, you know, and some volcanoes might even be a little more active, you know what I'm saying? But I just say dormant to not make it, you know. But, you know, you see that correlation again, like the volcanoes and from Godzilla, the Titan coming out of the volcano, you know, out of the lava, you know, and it kind of speaks to, again, us connecting with crystals and connecting with these ancient subconscious aspects of Earth's mind and body in essence, you know. But again, us obsidian connecting to that Titan or ancient god energy, you know. And also to, you know, bring in more perspective about the Titan energy, you know, it's neither good, bad, right, or wrong, but also a part of it is speaking to, though, like a certain, you know, because I realized like we hear the word Titan, it's like, yeah, Titan, like I almost like I want to be a Titan. And it's like, you know, not necessarily in the essence of like knowing your purpose and, you know, what you're doing on Earth. Some of us are, you know, in this lifetime doing what we got to do and, you know, leaving after this lifetime, you know what I'm saying, and maybe not coming back for, you know, some quote unquote years down the line, you know, if necessary or for whatever reasons, you know. So being a Titan is also like being heavy, you know, as well. You know, like a whale is a Titan, and a Titan is pretty heavy, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of like, you know, a certain heaviness energetically. And when we talk about, you know, lightening our karmic load, you know, and our heart weighing lighter as a feather, you know, we may not want to, quote unquote, be, you know, a quote unquote heavy Titan, so to speak, you know. But again, it's that paradoxical balance of like, yeah, you might not want to, you know, be that heavy Titan, but it is also no judgment against Titans. There's no judgment on a being who is, you know, servicing the earth in that manner, you know what I'm saying? So, you know, it's kind of, you got to bring in that balanced perspective. And the Titans, again, in Tartarus, the underworld, the depths of the earth's womb, you know. And again, the volcano, the magma, the no thing, potentially all crystals. And then also no coincidence too that, you know, if you've seen certain videos of volcanoes erupting, you know, they're also associated with lightning, so it's also associated with storms as well, you know. So it has that connection too. And in the movie I Kill Giants, you know, what was pretty cool about it was also the perspective on a deeper level of like she fighting these quote unquote titans. You know, she like the giant killer fighting these titans, but literally spoiler alert, close your ears if you want to watch the movie without me telling this part, you know. But because it is kind of tells the whole movie, or at least you don't find this out to the end of the movie, you know. So spoiler alert, I done gave my fair warning. But in the movie, she literally like go to fighting the Titans because she's trying to find like a fantasy world. And not to say these things are fantasy in real life, more so like, you know, she was trying to ignore the fact that her mom was dealing with, you know, but which we can do this with the spirit realm too, you know what I'm saying? Like some of us may, you know, tap into that Neptunian energy, going into our little, you know, daydreaming bubble, you know what I'm saying? Again, there's a healthy level to that, You know what I'm saying? There's a healthy level, of course, of staying tapped into your imagination, into the I imagination. And then there's a toxic level to it where you doing it, you know, you're tapping into your imagination, or more so you're kind of doing it from a space of trying to escape something that you need to face, something that keeps showing up. Because again, we're in this physical form, we're on this human experience for a reason. And if we're ignoring some of those reasons of why we're here, then that'll also cause you to repeat. So as much as you like, oh yeah, I'm not from here and this and that, yeah, all that is real and fine and dandy. But if you keep having lesson loops and cycles about something that you need to face on your human experience, that illusionary, imaginary little world that you know, that little fantasy that you keep trying to go into and create is becoming something that's actually toxic for you. You know what I'm saying? And that was also a part of that, you know, the storyline in I Kill Giants as well, which was pretty, you know, it was pretty fire. But we connected to Titans, volcanoes, the metals, crystals, and again the obsidian. And why obsidian? You know, black obsidian in particular. You know, and again the meteorites. You know, I got my little working with my moldavite and Libyan desert glass, but of course I got that pyrite grounding. But again, you see how all of that is connected. And again, bringing this up to speak to, you know, the practical aspect of just remembering to, you know, making sure that we're taking care of our energies and balancing ourselves out, you know, connecting to nature, making sure that our vibration is in a state of balance, you know, of the yin and yang energies, in such a manner where we're not like, again, like bouncing back and forth from, you know, extremes all the time. Sometimes we do have to go, you know, a little extreme to bring balance, you know what I'm saying? But again, it's when going into those extremes when it's necessary to bring forth balance, and not necessarily doing it like just out of just, you know, going back and forth to extremes. We want to maintain a certain balance in our energies, because that could be felt in nature, you know, and nature has, again, its own defense mechanism, aka Titans, you know what I'm saying, or weather conditions that, you know what I'm saying, may go to areas where things are unbalanced, you know. So it's, you know, having that awareness. And again, that's the connection with Thanos, you know, was like restoring balance. The movie The Happening, what that was with Mark Wahlberg a while back, you know, basically kind of find out the trees were letting out certain pheromones, or certain like little, you can say like just pheromones for lack of a better word, that was causing people to just kind of, you know, harm themselves, you know what I'm saying? So having the awareness of that energy. What's up? That girl Naya, what's up? What's up? All right, you live on a volcano, Piccolo, son. Word. Y'all there in the Bahamas, right? If I ain't mistaken. Appreciate it. Yep. Hit that like button. Any and all donations, greatly appreciated. Y'all know the donation links underneath the video. But yeah. And now transitioning into, you know, the BirthRite thing that came up, birthright and entitlement, and just understanding like the balance within that, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, like always spoken on before, but this just bringing it into a different perspective, because sometimes, there is certain programmings and certain things that try to belittle, your spirituality, belittle, you know what I'm saying, like your awareness as a being, where it's like, oh, you think you all that because you spiritually in tune, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes the word entire, like, again, the English language, angelish or English, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could have these different perspectives, you know what I'm saying? Some people express it with the perspective to try to make you belittle things that you really is just you know what I'm saying? Like, you, for one, you can't turn it off, you know what I'm saying? So like, how am I trying to be all that or more than you when this just is again like a literal birthright, you know what I'm saying? Like, my soul was born with these abilities, you know what I'm saying? I can't turn this off, and I don't think I'm quote unquote like entitled from a sense of like, like toxic, stubborn, egoic entitlement, and that be like the subtle differences. Like, some people use it in the form of like, oh, you entitled. Like, and I use the example like, oh, like some people use it in the perspective of like, you this spoiled brat. Like, that spoiled brat think they're entitled to everything and that they don't have to do anything, you know what I'm saying? And again, it's just finding that balance with that energy, because, you do have certain birthrights or certain abilities, and certain ancestral connections that others may not been, born with. But again, it's a balance. That doesn't mean I'm walking around being like, ha ha ha, you ain't shit because I got ancestors with me that you don't. You know what I'm saying? Ha ha ha, I'm in tune with the titans of the earthly plane. So when weather conditions, you know what I'm saying? Like, ha ha ha, you know what I'm saying? It's like not holding it over people's head in that type of sense. But again, it's okay for you to, appreciate the fact that you have, like, hey, I'm grateful, give thanks for, my ancestral connection, give thanks for, my spiritual abilities and gifts and connections, you know what I'm saying? Like, nothing is wrong with that. But again, there's certain energies in place where just certain little programming and social engineering to like belittle yourself, or create this energy of like, oh, you think you all that if you, speaking on your spiritual birthrights and stuff like that. And it's like, no, like there is a certain level of spiritual birthrights. There is a certain level of where some of us are different from other people or beings walking, within this realm, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's just facts. But again, and the entitlement aspect could also come in where like say for instance, being used in a healthy manner to some extent is like some of us could feel so entitled with our quote unquote birthrights, where we feel like we don't have to do some of the spiritual, quote unquote work, like say for instance, you may have to do some, some shadow work or certain little actions you may have to take to clear certain karma. But then you sitting there on some like, man, I ain't got to do that shit. I'm chosen. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't got to do that shit. I'm, so it again, it's just like finding that balance with it. You know what I'm saying? Just simply put, I'm chosen. I ain't got to do that shit, because there's certain things that you may not have to do, you know what I'm saying? And then there's certain things that, that it is that you may have to do, again, hence why the importance of knowing yourself to the fullest, because it's not going to be up to me. You shouldn't have to listen to me or somebody else tell you, you know what I'm saying? Again, sometimes we miss the messages internally, and because some of us do a great job at expressing messages pretty as pure as possible, you know what I'm saying, you could grasp that source energy speaking through some of our vessels in certain moments, you know what I'm saying. But again, at the end of the day, you want to be able to pick up on this for yourself, because I'm not here to, again, like I love it when I see see or just sense, people who like, oh man, yeah, I learned from your YouTube channel, this and that. And it's like, shit, they like on abilities is on to the max, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, damn, that's so fire, because that's what I asked for. I wasn't trying to be here to, you know what I'm saying, like be this energy of like I'm the guru and everybody is beneath me, you know what I'm saying? Like, nah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I want to see you be just as great, you know. Now, of course, some of that had to come, again, I had to step back and make sure I'm taking care of myself more than trying to put messages out on YouTube. But again, I'm here, and hence why, like, even with, consultations, it's like, that's why I've been making sure the videos are, placed with like different playlists and stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? Because ultimately, a consultation is unnecessary if you find the right videos on my YouTube channel. Like, I promise you, out of 1,000 videos, 1,800, I think, but there's at least 1 to 2 that you could find where it'll be self-empowering, where you could kind of get the aha moment and internally work from there. You feel me? But yeah, entwining roots. What's up? Right. And it's a balance again, because even intertwined roots, you're talking about that little post, you know what I'm saying? It's like you just gotta be aware of your energy and who you are, and that's why I put that in that post too. Like, you gotta be aware of who you are as a being, you know what I'm saying? Because there is different levels, or again, just like being in a grade school, different people are in a different grade, It's like certain little magical anime, you got certain guilds, and you got like certain levels within the guilds, you know what I'm saying? Like, this magician is a level 1 magician, there's a level 2 magician, level 3 alchemist, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's a real thing, It's just finding that balance. And what I was gonna bring up about hoods, and just as simple, and connecting all the dots, but just understand again, like, the whole reason why we use hood in the back of like certain things, like when we talk about your childhood, and you think of hoods and you think about like, hooded people initiating like, secret societies, wearing hoods in the process of their initiation. But, they get that from just the natural aspect of things. For one, with the Virgin Mary, like her depiction, you know what I'm saying? Not necessarily the color of her skin or none of that shit, but, just the depiction in general, where she's wearing like a certain gown that has almost like a hood, and that in essence also represents the yoni, you know what I'm saying? And the yoni, or the clitoris, like having like a hood, you know what I'm saying, over it. You know what I'm saying? No coincidence that, a child is born from out of, the yoni, which has a hood on it, and then as a child, you know what I'm saying, you go into your childhood, or being initiated into, into your human experience in this realm, you know what I'm saying, passing through the yoni going into your childhood, and we talk about like a quote unquote neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, the environment of initiation, the environment that we came, down into is where we initiate, ourselves into our, soul process, like our soul transformation and growth, in the essence of, realizing that most things that we are dealing with in our quote unquote childhood, you know what I'm saying, like in that hooded part of our initiation, is things that come from our past lives for the most part. You know what I'm saying? Again, like choosing parents, that are in alignment with us being able to work out, these karmic conditions, you know what I'm saying? Karmic conditions or contracts, you know what I'm saying? That we're here to, work through. And again, work through because we can't work around it. There's no shortcuts. Again, the closest quote unquote shortcut to removing, heavy levels of karma is through our breathing techniques and through, different aspects of yoga. If there was somewhat of a shortcut. But again, like just seeing our childhood as that form of initiation in this lifetime to understand, why we here, and literally like, also growing from it and seeing like how our neighborhood or the hoods that we grew up in, also prepared us for, where we're at right now. You know what I'm saying? Because of course we may have outgrown our quote unquote hoods or neighborhoods that we grew up in, but at the same time, like being able to appreciate like what it helped us with and what it taught us. I think of the aspects of, getting into spirituality and you want to become like super peaceful, like, and I'm so peaceful, and, and of course that's a part of it is, you're not like just walking around like just fucking with everybody. But at the same time, it's like, but you also want to keep like a little bit of that edge, you know what I'm saying? And again, for some of us, we grew up in tough neighborhoods, you know what I'm saying, to kind of remind us to kind of stay in touch with that part of us that has like that little strong edge, you know what I'm saying, especially masculine, not to say that it's not a feminine thing, but, of course, with the masculine being more of one that puts in physical work in essence, you know what I'm saying, or being able to protect and provide, you know what I'm saying. You need to, you may want to stay in touch with a little bit of that quote unquote edge that comes from your childhood. And that would also go back into birthrights as well too, because some of us may have had a childhood where we didn't necessarily have to have that edge per se, because we had a very strong spiritual backing that makes sure that, part of our karmic energy, we don't have to necessarily go through that. You know what I'm saying? Because that was a part of your birthright. Because again, like literally, also your family may reflect your spiritual family in essence. Like if you came into a family that helped you out a lot, you know what I'm saying, that's also how your spirit guides or spirit family is, where they're going to help you out a lot. You know what I'm saying? And again, it's different aspects of you, different dimensions of you, you know what I'm saying? But in essence, it's like you have that spiritual backing compared to like if you come into this realm and things was pretty tough, that knows your spirit guides, of course, having some form of, spirit guides or ancestors with you. But again, like just like your family, may have done you in essence, or whatever your family did, that's also kind of how your ancestral or your spirit family have did or done with you as well, you know what I'm saying, in the sense of, I'm trying to think of example, but you may have been through a situation where just like, again, like a baby who was placed in the garbage when it was born, you know what I'm saying, you may have had like spirit fam or spirit guides, ancestors that may have neglected you, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, outside of this realm, you know what I'm saying? Like may have neglected you in some type of way. So you also kind of had to work, you know, and create that spiritual strength, you know what I'm saying? Almost for yourself in so many words, you know? And then also, again, with the hoods aspect, you know, why most of these movies, I think they did it on House Party, that newest House Party, you know, like they're doing a little ritual and they all had red hoods on, you know, but the red hood, you know what I'm saying, and Little Red Riding Hood, you know what I'm saying, like those little stories, but that's dealing with your root chakra. Also, in essence, that has certain connections with the menstrual cycle as well on deeper levels, you know, and again, that that Dragon Legacy book that I would always bring up, I can't remember the full name of it, by I can't remember the full name of it, but it gets into again like the etymology and the origins of like these elf stories and the fairies, and again like the fairies, the elves, all that comes from nature. You know what I'm saying? In nature, like when we talk about our sexual energy, you know, like I think of in the hood or like, you know, the old schools back, oh man, gotta get my nature right, you know. They talking about like, you know, their genital nature in essence, but in the genital area, you know, is also like nature, because that's where again like organically, you know, you're born from, you know, coming into this realm. And then also, just like with, you know, being initiated into this realm on that level, the Grim Reaper depicted as, you know, our Saturn energy, our time, our Chronos energy, you know, depicted as wearing a hood, you know what I'm saying? Because that's another part of the initiation, is going through the quote unquote, you know, death and rebirth process, you know. And why on the death card, you know, you got the person riding the white horse with the hood on, you know. So it's all those different hoods, you know. As I bring up the hoods and Chronos, you know, matter of fact, much love to the brother Bridge of Ra, you know, for doing the collaboration and bringing up the Yu-Gi-Oh GX in particular, and how Yu-Gi-Oh GX, I was just like laughing at how, you know, like again, like just how they have the symbolic spiritual storylines just written out through the characters. And for one, again, Yu-Gi-Oh GX, or just Yu-Gi-Oh in general, but you know, they again connecting with these cards, and these cards represent like, you know, spirits are elementals in essence. You know what I'm saying? Different cards have like a different vibe to them. You know, some people got elementals that's more so like from dry desert areas, or elementals that's more like reptilians, and most of the dragons are certain spirits that's more so connected with, you know, technology, or spirits that's more connected, you know what I'm saying, like different forms of spirits. But long story short, in this connection, like one of the teachers at the Dual Academy, and again, Dual, D-U-A-L, you know, is a part of the word duality, you know what I'm saying? And again, so they, at the Dual Academy, you know, they had a teacher named Chronos. And literally, and this goes to the part as well where, you know, you realize like some planetary energies that's depicted as just masculine, you know what I'm saying, or just feminine in some cases, but more so like how Chronos or Saturn is depicted as just masculine, may also been like a androgynous energy and have a little bit of masculine and feminine. But no coincidence that the teacher Chronos on Yu-Gi-Oh GX kind of had like it was a man, a tall skinny man, but he had like a haircut like a woman and kind of had a mannerism like a woman. So it was like, you know, kind of had this androgynous thing going on with earrings that were crescent moons, you know what I'm saying? We talk about the Saturn moon matrix, and again, like the karmic cycles, you know, of being in this realm, dealing with our subconscious, our emotions, you know, attaching us to this quote unquote bodysuit or reincarnate, like a carnivorous, like meat bodysuit, reincarnating, meat bodysuiting, what I'm saying, into this experience. And literally though, again, the episode was like basically KarlHaynes, the teacher at the Dual Academy, was basically like trying to prolong everybody from graduate, what I'm saying, which is very interesting, what I'm saying, just in the timing of when it came up, but basically it was trying to delay everybody from graduating by not teaching certain classes, or AKA not allowing people to understand their karmic energies, what I'm saying. You could say while the portal is open for them to graduate, trying to prolong them from graduating, what I'm saying, in essence, but the reason being that the teacher KarlHaynes was gonna be sad like that all the students was leaving, what I'm saying, and in a weird way also, it was like, say weird, but like in a weird way, like he was like, also like I kind of don't want him to leave because I learned so much from, like, here it is while I'm a teacher, what I'm saying, but I've learned so much from the students, what I'm saying, in this duality class or this, dual academy or, this duality realm, what I'm saying. It's like, damn, like I learned so much, but, and what happened is he challenged the main character to a duel, and if, again, if the student win, then he has to allow for everybody to graduate in time. But if not, he would have been able to, what I'm saying, kind of prolong their graduation process in the dual academy. So, that was pretty interesting as well. And again, the teacher KarlHaynes in general, connected to, the Titan, the energy as well, So you see how all that connects. Yes, I was guided away from the hood, had to fight the people. I get what you're saying, because that's another thing too, reason why I brought up the whole entitlement thing too is like, some of us have been so scorned by earthly experience from the perspective of thinking like life has to be so crucially hard. Like, yes, you're gonna have certain intense moments dealing with your spiritual growth, what I'm saying, but it's not from a perspective of like, oh, but this is life and how it's always meant to be. It's like you're always meant to have to be struggling and shit like that, what I'm saying, like, and you think you're entitled if you think you don't have to struggle like me, what I'm saying. Hence why you got to be knowing what's going on and knowing that some people be in their little worlds or bubbles of struggle, what I'm saying, and that's not necessarily in alignment for you, what I'm saying, per se. And again, there's no judgment towards them or yourself, what I'm saying. It's just like understanding what's going on. But yeah, I feel that. That's because I had other people with me, but I can't fight. Right, man. Again, it'd be little subtle lessons, in those situations. Because I feel like, again, like it's meant for us. If we went through it, you know what I'm saying, it was meant for us to deal with it or, you know, face it in that moment, because it was obviously, you know, in so many ways, if it happened, it was inevitable in that sense of it, you know, like as far as like the little scuffles or whatever we had to deal with, you know, growing up in our neighborhoods, you know, because I do feel it's certain levels in life, just in general, where you just have to learn how to be there for yourself in so many ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, like being able to, you know, again, just like with leaving, you know, your parents' house and having them learn how to pay your own bills and do certain things for yourself. You know what I'm saying? Why? Because they're not gonna always be there. You know what I'm saying? Like, holding your hand through the process. You know what I'm saying? So there are some levels of things that, you know, are necessary for you to understand and develop, you know, on your own. You know what I'm saying? Because otherwise you won't know how to do it yourself. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, most definitely. What's up, Great Blackness? I don't know. Yeah, definitely. Definitely appreciate the hood, the lessons and initiations from the hood. The different hoods. Yeah, that's basically the transmission. Just sharing the energy about, you know, again, like the Titans in connection with, you know, again, more so with our own, you know, mind, body, and soul being balanced, being in a healthy state of being, you know what I'm saying? To, you know, again, stabilize our nervous system, you know, to not always be in these anxious, fearful states of being and having to face whatever it is that we may be, you know what I'm saying, running away from, to, you know, fully integrate, you know what I'm saying, all of these fragmented aspects. Not say all, you know, but whatever, you know, fragmented, because again, fragmented is the best word, because it's not like, you know, it's you, it's your soul, it's, you know, it's interconnected to you, you know, regardless. Hence why you experience what you experience, like you experience like something that's like anxiety or, you know, fear, because you are connected to that fragmented part, but it's just fragmented, aka it's just in a state of you know, disharmony, you know what I'm saying? And when you do go to tap into it, you feel disharmony because it's in disharmony, you know what I'm saying? You know, that inner child part of you that, you know, feels a little on edge when somebody raises their voice, because your parents used to, you know, abuse you, and right before they did or when they did, they would raise their voice, you know what I'm saying? And if you left that part of you, you know what I'm saying, in that fragmented state, then it's going to constantly be asking for help, you know what I'm saying? Like, in moments when you go to like want to tap in with your creativity or your imagination, like when you were a child, in that, you know, in that inner child aspect of you, in that dimension or quote unquote time frame, is gonna feel a little off, because that part of you is still, you know, in the dimension of disharmony, you know what I'm saying, and kind of, you know, afraid and disharmonic, you know. But yeah, just wanted to, you know, share that. And again, the key points, you know, of course, across the board, you know, goods and services could be bartered, you know what I'm saying, on so many different levels. But again, like just the energy of, connecting, with the metals, more than anything, you know what I'm saying? Because metals, last a certain, it could weather a lot of different types of situations, weather a lot of different storms, or weather a lot of different titans, you know what I'm saying, different tornadoes, hurricanes, and earthquakes. Those metals could kind of last through those quote unquote weather conditions, you know what I'm saying. So seeing metals as a important resource, hence why, again, like the whole thing to try to take you away from it and make paper, quote unquote, resource more than the metals itself, you know. And again, as I say that, that doesn't mean, like, oh, if I don't have no gold bars or none of this, then it's like, no, like everything is in alignment, you know what I'm saying? You're going to align with what you need to align with at the pace you need to align with it, you know what I'm saying? Especially if you're not panicking, like you're not going to connect with it. Because literally the holding the vibration of like, what I'm going to do, what I'm going to do, then that manifests as like, well, what you going to do? You know what I'm saying? So you have to, again, step into that energy of trusting, and again, that balance energy of trusting and surrendering, but also like, taking certain actions and having certain plans that you would like to implement, you know what I'm saying? Like the video I did about the full moon cycle and the new moon cycle, aka, or should I say the new moon cycle, full moon cycle, the new moon cycle being the free will cycle, and the full moon cycle being the destiny cycle, you know what I'm saying? Those are the moments of free will, and those are the moments of destiny, aka this is the fruit that you planted during the new moon. So this is what it is because this is what you planted, and not to say that you can't change it again, because there's another new moon coming up for you to plant some different seeds, since you see that those seeds that you planted wasn't the seeds that you want, that wasn't the fruit that you wanted to bear, so you get a chance to plant some new seeds, aka, tap into this other new moon, new moon cycle, so you could, tap into planting these new seeds. But again, the metals as currency, balancing your energies out, being grounded. Also seeing the connection again, like with Black Obsidian, and why it was connecting to, why it does connect to the deep aspects of our subconscious mind, or quote unquote, in some ways the underworld energy, which again is just the depths of our subconscious, so far into the depths, that, some beings or some entities in those depths of our subconscious may feel bitter or forgotten, you know what I'm saying, in so many ways or manners, you know what I'm saying, and maybe, certain beings lost in those depths of the subconscious, aka, what some may call one of the aspects of, what may happen to people that, is quote unquote called crazy, you know what I'm saying, kind of stuck in the underworld energy, you know what I'm saying. But again, it's like it's a balance, like, like we meant to move through the underworld, but not having to like get stuck in the underworld, because sometimes you hear, some of the things spoken of, like, oh yeah, underworld this, man, underworld that, and dark side this, and and it's like, it's a balance, you know what I'm saying? You be tapped into it, you're aware of it, but again, it's like you don't have to make that your address, you know what I'm saying? Because again, I'm here on Earth, you know what I'm saying, for a reason, and it's not to be stuck in my subconscious underworld, speaking for, and most, that speaks to most of us, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, what's up, Miss Aisha? Mr. West. Right, Great Blackness. That's it, learning the lesson loops. That's why I call it a lesson loop. I knew to call it a lesson loop because I'm like, damn, it's basically like, we looping through these situations to get the lesson from it. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with video games. Mario misjudged the jump to the moving platform. It's like, damn. You know what I'm saying? You loop back to the beginning of the stage, you know what I'm saying, and start over again. Or luckily, you know what I'm saying, you got so far, you hit a certain checkpoint where now, if you do make a mistake, or it's a tough lesson you're dealing with, you don't go all the way back to the beginning of the stage. You start at the checkpoint. You know what I'm saying? Give thanks for the checkpoint. Give thanks for the checkpoint. But and just also just making sure we're taking care of ourselves, not getting caught up in the mortar / I gotta save the world type of energy from an external perspective. Like you save the world by being a great you, by understanding yourself to the fullest, by maintaining a healthy vibration, a harmonic vibration within yourself first and foremost. You know what I'm saying? Not if you giving out 1,000 hamburgers and always working to do this and do that for the community, but you're doing it so much that you're out of harmony. You know what I'm saying? Eventually, you know what I'm saying, you're going to run yourself into the ground or something like that, possibly, if you're not aware of, what I'm saying, making sure you maintain your, your health and alignment. Again, talked about the metals, childhood. We talked about, again, the different forms, our perspectives of dealing with entitlement and birthrights, you know what I'm saying? So everything on point. That was part of my little haircut too. I'm like, man, I want to bring a little balance to my hair. I want the nature, the natural aspect, and then the sides, you know what I'm saying? A little tame, you know what I'm saying? So we got like the feminine, untamed energy and the masculine, like structure and boundaries at the bottom. Of course, and that's another thing too, like reason of being aware of our vibrations, you know what I'm saying? Because of so many little different vibrations, that may pass through, music, social media, or in the environment and things of this nature, you know what I'm saying? Like, because I'm so aware of that, like it took me a while to like do this hairstyle, because I'm like, man, to make sure I'm not on no, just doing it because I'm, picking up on somebody else's energy, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me make sure this is me wanting to do this for me. And then also, again, like I posted about, because of course, you can make certain, you could affect the spirit realm by affecting the physical realm. You know what I'm saying? So certain changes to your physical, could help boost your spiritual morale in essence, you know what I'm saying? But also understand and know, again, like whatever it is that you're dealing with or whatever lesson loops you're dealing with, a simple change of clothing or a haircut change, you know what I'm saying, ain't gonna change that situation, you know what I'm saying? Because again, it's like a subconscious situation that, again, like with fragmented parts of yourself that you need to deal with, that just a haircut is not gonna, change in essence, or just working with a certain crystal is not gonna change. And again, I done brought up with working with crystals, expressing to the crystals and affirming to the crystals like, hey, help me, transmute the root cause of, you know, this symptom. Because again, just working on the symptom could be like just trying to cover up a big gash with a band-aid, you know what I'm saying, when you need to really get to the root cause, you know what I'm saying, to stop it from keep, you know, reoccurring. And again, take care of yourself, you know what I'm saying? Like, again, like even with me doing this video, like I'm not doing a video till I, you know, like I'm gonna sit with myself, and you know what I'm saying? And again, especially with being yourself, because you know the real beings who've been connecting with my YouTube channel for the longest understand that I always talk about that. So it ain't gonna be like no, you know, like, oh, he being fake because he ain't always making a video, or he's not consistent and persistent. You know, it's like, nah, like, you know what I'm saying? We gotta make sure we taking care of ourselves and incorporating the things that are, I'm not saying incorporating, let's use a different word, but just, you know, basically implementing, you know what I'm saying, applying all of the knowledge and wisdom from our different lesson loops, and, you know, and just making sure, again, like we doing what we need to do, instead of being so worried about trying to save the world from that perspective, when we be dealing with, you know, let's say when you're possibly dealing with, you know, something yourself that, you know, you need to take the time to kind of, you know, face or deal with. Oh, sorry, sis. Aisha, no, you gotta, man. It's spelt a certain way and it's pronounced a certain way for a reason, you know. It's like people try to call me Uni to shorten Universal. It's like, nah, we not having we not having that. Like Universal, you know. I mean, I understand, you know, I'm from Louisiana, you know, being incarnated in Louisiana, I understand how everybody want to have the lazy tongue, you know, four instead of four and door instead of door, you know, I understand. Because sometimes it's like, you know, like you understand me, like instead of saying sure for sure, say for sure, you know, because you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? Word to saying that, you know, like, you know what I'm talking about, you know? But Miss Aisha, most definitely. Caroline, yep. As a matter of fact, today is the last day for the 20% off. Reopen the Etsy shop sale. You know, so yep, just message me on IG. Cause matter of fact, you message me on IG, you know, we get the sales going. Then eventually, you know what I'm saying, for those who don't use social media, you'll be able to just go straight to the Etsy shop. Right, right. Great word. Yep. Daughter. Right. We got our, we got our different, what I'm saying, got to make sure people put some respect on the name. 'Cause it has a certain meaning for us, you know what I'm saying? No matter how, some of us got to it through, a lot of logical input of like, making sure the gematria of the name came out to a certain number, this and that. I realized, like, again, some of it was just on point just by choosing a name, and then I end up seeing the gematria of it later. It's like, all right, the numerology kind of makes sense of it too, but however, you know, had great blackness. I'm working on, because I'm not a big fan of putting my stuff in other people's stores. I might kind of like have that 1 piece, 2 piece, like you got like an exclusive piece, because I do like the exclusiveness, you know what I'm saying, of like you having like, or just anybody having to, get a piece. For me, it also gives me something to do, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I have all of my pieces everywhere, but it's, you know what I'm saying, it's a possibility. But for right now, again, it's just more of a store thing. I could possibly do 1 or 2 pieces, but that, you just have to email me, have to talk. Most definitely. All right, fam. Who knows? I might. Come with a. It's a part 2 or another vid soon. But I definitely, again, just felt that vibe, especially after I was sitting down with the trees and did that last video. I'm like, yeah, gotta make sure, because again, like making sure the messages is truthful and straightforward, you know what I'm saying? Put too much sugar on it, then you got sugar water, you know what I'm saying? So we gotta make sure that we are speaking on like, hey, all right, making sure you got your energy in check, you know what I'm saying? Like, and the whole reason, like, again, like the theme had been like Titans, you know what I'm saying? Coming across it in movies and just, feeling it. And again, like from what I was receiving from sitting in nature, it's like understanding the importance of having that balance, because again, just because you're in nature, taking care of your bodysuit. Yeah, your bodysuit is a temporary illusion or avatar. Yes, this realm is a temporary illusion. But even while in it, you're in it for a reason. You know what I'm saying? And again, appreciate being, also most importantly, being like really, in the bodysuit. You know what I'm saying? Because I even had to like realize like to find a balance with fasting, because I was eating like, barely eating. But for me, it was kind of like I needed to kind of, value a certain aspect of, the fact that I do love to like prepare certain, dishes, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? And like, again, like being grounded in the body, because also that's why, like eating in some cases is like a grounding thing. They use this perspective. What's up, Straight Panther? Peace. They use that perspective in, Men in Black, I think of in a lot of different little time travel movies, where after somebody time traveled, like they either was looking for milk, they would kind of use milk as a thing. But in essence, I just saw it as like, something to ground me into my bodysuit. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, all right, I just finished flipping through all these different dimensions. You know what I'm saying? Like, let me ground myself. Because at one point it was looking at eating, on that type of level, like, oh, this must be some type of parasitic attack. It's like, no, as long as, you're not always just eating emotionally or just eating for pleasure, you know what I'm saying? And then not even say like that, but like more so like you're like not eating for pleasure as a coping mechanism would be a more accurate perspective. Because again, we do like, it's like letting the taste buds like taste the different fruits or veggies or the different herbs and spices that you put into your food. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a part of the experience. You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't nothing wrong with that. Like Chris Rock, cornbread, ain't nothing wrong with that. But like that's the thing. It's like grounding yourself into the bodysuit. Most definitely. But y'all know what it is. Again, stay on point with your inner awareness, grounded and balanced. Again, any and all donations greatly appreciated. Donation links underneath all the videos, of course. Epic Lifestyles on Instagram if you're interested in ordering any pieces right now. And again, the 20% off sale is going on. Today is the last day for it. We reopening the Etsy shop. That's the goal. The goal is $200. And what else? That's basically it. Said everything I done had to say. Yeah, but it's like, making sure, again, being aware of your cycles, you know what I'm saying? Like your different cycles energetically, you're in your cycle to eat a lot, or you're in your cycle to fast more. You know what I'm saying? You're in your cycle to enjoy, food, or you're in your cycle to like monk it out and not eat anything. You know what I'm saying? Like it's different, because I realized in certain moments I would, like, yeah, it was like best for me to be in monk mode of like, I'm not eating too much or anything, you know what I'm saying? I only eat a couple of grapes a day type of energy. And then it'll be an energy for me to appreciate being able to indulge, you know what I'm saying? Because even when I would indulge, it's still not like I'm eating like all day like everybody else do, you know what I'm saying? It's like one nice solid, like, I'm about to go in, and then I don't eat again till the next day at that same time, you know what I'm saying, or something like that. So, but most definitely, but y'all know what it is. Signing out. Peace, peace. Not too far in the future, not too far in the past. Right now, enjoy y'all day. Enjoy, and that's maybe another thing too. Want to get into the fixed stars of the zodiac, because at one point I would just talk about just the fixed signs, but the fixed signs in the zodiac was also pointed to because of the fixed stars, or the royal 4 stars of the zodiac, and again how that connects with the the being that we're inside, again, as above, so below, as within, so without. Mythology is anatomy by law. you know, and tapping into that energy. But you know, we'll get there. But yeah, peace. Y'all enjoy y'all now moment. I'm out.